The Stoic Path to Attraction: How to Stop Chasing and Draw What's Meant for You. There exists a profound truth that many of us discover only after years of exhausting ourselves in pursuit of things, people, and opportunities that seem to slip away just as we reach for them. This truth is simple yet revolutionary. What belongs to you will find you when you stop chasing and start attracting. The ancient philosophy of Stoicism offers us a roadmap to this transformative way of living, where we become magnets for the right experiences rather than desperate pursuers of fleeting desires. Imagine living a life where you're not constantly running after validation, forcing relationships to work, or desperately grasping for opportunities that feel just out of reach. Instead, picture yourself as a lighthouse, steady, strong, and naturally drawing the right people and circumstances toward your light. This isn't fantasy. It's the reality that Stoic wisdom makes possible when we understand the fundamental difference between chasing and attracting. The distinction between these two approaches lies at the heart of human suffering and fulfillment. Chasing is rooted in scarcity and fear, creating an energy of desperation that paradoxically repels what we most desire. When we chase, we're like runners on a treadmill expending enormous energy while remaining essentially stationary. We send signals of neediness and inadequacy, which others instinctively recognize and avoid. The person constantly texting someone who doesn't respond, the professional desperately networking without genuine connection, the individual trying to force relationships that naturally resist, all are caught in the exhausting cycle of pursuit. Attracting, on the other hand, emerges from abundance and confidence. It's about cultivating such genuine fulfillment within ourselves that others naturally gravitate toward our energy. As Epictetus wisely observed, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. When we embody this principle, we highlight our completeness rather than our deficiencies, naturally drawing others who appreciate and value our authentic selves. Marcus Aurelius understood this dynamic when he wrote that the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Our internal state inevitably manifests in our external reality. When we cultivate thoughts of abundance, confidence, and self-worth, we attract circumstances that reflect these qualities. This transformation begins with releasing the grip of fear that drives so much of our chasing behavior. Fear acts as a barrier that blocks our natural ability to attract what's meant for us. In relationships, this might manifest as fear of rejection, fear of being alone, or fear of not being good enough. These fears cause us to cling to unhealthy dynamics or pursue people who don't reciprocate our feelings. In professional contexts, fear might prevent us from taking risks or pursuing opportunities that truly align with our talents and passions. By releasing these fears, we create space for confidence, courage, and authenticity to flourish. The process of letting go of fear requires honest self-examination. We must acknowledge our fears and understand their root causes through mindfulness and reflection. Often, the scenarios we fear are not as daunting as our imagination makes them seem. When we challenge these fears with rational thought and replace them with positive affirmations, we begin to shift our energy from repelling to attracting. This inner work naturally leads to the power of visualization, a practice that goes far beyond mere daydreaming. When we visualize success, we create a mental blueprint that guides our actions toward desired outcomes. This isn't about passive wishing, but active mental rehearsal. The professional who visualizes giving a successful presentation, the individual who sees themselves in a loving partnership, the person who imagines achieving their personal goals, all are programming their minds to recognize and seize opportunities that align with their vision. Effective visualization engages all the senses and emotions. We must feel the satisfaction of success, hear the sounds of achievement, and see the vivid details of our aspirations coming to life. This practice not only maintains focus, but energizes us, making the pursuit of goals more engaging and fulfilling. When we consistently visualize positive outcomes, we condition our minds to spot opportunities that others might miss. However, visualization must be balanced with the Stoic principle of doing our best while letting go of outcomes. Like the gardener, who carefully tends his plants but cannot force them to grow, we must give our utmost effort while accepting that some things remain beyond our control. This doesn't mean becoming indifferent or careless. Rather, it means recognizing the limits of our influence and embracing the wisdom of detachment. In relationships, this principle manifests as being fully present and authentic, while releasing the need to control how others respond. We can communicate honestly, show care and support, and invest in meaningful connections, but we cannot force others to reciprocate our feelings or meet our expectations. In professional endeavors, we can prepare thoroughly, work diligently, and present our best efforts, but we must then trust that our dedication will yield appropriate results. This balance between effort and surrender creates space for genuine attraction to occur. When we're not desperately grasping for specific outcomes, we become more open to possibilities we hadn't considered. The universe, it seems, has a way of bringing us what we need rather than what we think we want, often in forms we didn't expect. Central to this process is developing crystal clear intentions about what we truly desire. Many people struggle with attraction because they're unclear about their actual goals. They may say they want a relationship, but haven't defined what kind of partnership would truly fulfill them. They might claim to want professional success, but lack specific vision of what that looks like in practice. When we take time to clarify our intentions, writing them down, visualizing them, and believing we deserve them, we begin to align our energy with our authentic desires. This clarity must be accompanied by a willingness to embody the qualities we seek. If we want to attract a loving, supportive partner, we must first become loving and supportive ourselves. If we aspire to professional success, we must develop the confidence and competence of someone who is already successful. This isn't about pretending to be someone we're not. It's about growing into the person we're meant to become. The process requires us to release our need to control every aspect of how our desires manifest. Like a sailor who can set the sails and choose direction, but cannot control the wind or waves, we must focus on what we can influence while accepting the unpredictable nature of life. This release of control isn't passivity, it's wisdom. When we stop trying to micromanage every detail, we become more adaptable and open to opportunities that arise naturally. Releasing control also means embracing the present moment rather than anxiously projecting into the future. Our desire to control often stems from fear of the unknown and anxiety about what might happen. By practicing mindfulness and staying grounded in the present, we reduce this anxiety and become more receptive to the possibilities each moment offers. Throughout this journey, it's essential to actively seek and embrace uplifting moments. Life provides countless opportunities for joy, gratitude, and positive connection, but we must train ourselves to notice and appreciate them. These moments aren't just pleasant experiences, they're energy shifters that elevate our vibration and make us more attractive to others. When we focus on uplifting moments, whether it's a meaningful conversation, a beautiful sunset, or an unexpected act of kindness, we cultivate a more positive presence. In relationships, celebrating small victories and happy moments creates stronger bonds and reinforces positive dynamics. In personal growth, acknowledging progress and success, however minor, builds momentum and confidence. The foundation of all attraction, however, lies in staying true to ourselves. Authenticity is magnetic because it's increasingly rare in a world where many people present carefully curated versions of themselves. When we show up genuinely with our quirks, passions, and imperfections, we invite others to do the same. This creates the foundation for deep, meaningful connections, based on mutual understanding and acceptance. Being true to ourselves means setting boundaries and honoring our needs and values. It involves saying no when necessary and refusing to compromise our integrity for the sake of pleasing others. As Epictetus taught, we must first know who we are before we can present ourselves authentically to the world. This self-knowledge builds the confidence that naturally attracts others. Patience becomes crucial in this process because genuine attraction and meaningful connections take time to develop. In our fast-paced world, we often expect immediate results, but the most valuable things in life unfold gradually. Building trust, developing skills, nurturing relationships, and achieving significant goals all require patience and persistence. Practicing patience means appreciating the journey rather than fixating solely on the destination. When starting a new relationship, we must give it space to grow naturally rather than pushing for immediate intimacy or commitment. When pursuing career goals, we must recognize that progress might be slow and that setbacks are part of the process. This patience isn't passive waiting, it's active trust in the natural timing of life. Clear intentions serve as our compass throughout this journey. Without specific, purposeful desires, we might wander aimlessly, unsure of what we're actually trying to attract. Setting clear intentions means defining not just what we want, but why it matters to us. This clarity helps us communicate effectively, make aligned decisions, and recognize opportunities when they arise. Effective intention setting involves reflecting on our values and priorities, writing down specific goals, and using visualization to reinforce our commitment. We must be willing to adjust our intentions as we grow and change, remaining flexible while maintaining focus on what truly matters to us. At the deepest level, our ability to attract what's meant for us depends on cultivating genuine self-love and self-worth. When we truly appreciate our own value, we naturally attract others who recognize and respect that value. Self-love isn't narcissism. It's a healthy recognition of our inherent worth and unique contributions to the world. This self-love manifests in how we treat ourselves with kindness rather than harsh criticism, with patience rather than unrealistic expectations, with appreciation rather than constant judgment. When we practice self-compassion, engage in activities that nourish our souls, and surround ourselves with positive influences, we build the internal foundation that makes external attraction possible. The transformation from chasing to attracting isn't merely a shift in strategy. It's an evolution in consciousness. It's moving from a mindset of scarcity to one of abundance, from desperation to confidence, from force to flow. This shift affects every aspect of our lives. Our relationships become more authentic, our professional endeavors more aligned with our talents, and our overall experience more fulfilling. The Stoic path teaches us that we become magnets, not through manipulation or game playing, but through genuine self-development and alignment with our authentic selves. When we release fear, visualize success, do our best while letting go of outcomes, attract through clarity, release control, embrace uplifting moments, stay true to ourselves, practice patience, set clear intentions, and cultivate self-love, we create an irresistible energy that draws the right people and opportunities into our lives. This isn't about becoming someone we're not. It's about becoming who we truly are, beneath the layers of fear, doubt, and learned behaviors that have kept us stuck in cycles of chasing. When we align with our authentic selves and trust in the natural flow of life, we discover that what belongs to us will indeed find us, not through force or desperation, but through the magnetic pull of genuine attractiveness that comes from inner confidence and self-worth. The journey from chasing to attracting is ultimately a journey home to ourselves. It's about recognizing that we are already complete, already worthy, already enough. From this place of wholeness, we naturally draw experiences and relationships that reflect our true value. This is the promise of Stoic wisdom, not that life will always be easy, but that we can navigate it with grace, confidence, and the knowledge that what is meant for us will always find its way to us when we create the conditions for attraction rather than the energy of desperate pursuit.